Hey, welcome back to another trade recap. We're gonna do this one quick. This one is for the trade that we just took right now on a Monday morning. Going into the market today, we already had this spike, this candle at 7 a.m. out of nowhere. So obviously, I was making sure that I know what's going on. In terms of news, there's Powell speaking at 10:30, so I'm like, okay, I either need to get a trade out quickly or wait till 10:30 and then do it. We started off, this is where market opened at 9:30. We were obviously trending towards these highs, and there's a 4 hour above, and there's a 4 hour that we are currently trading under. So obviously, you gotta mark out those higher time frame gaps and stuff. This was a 15-minute gap that we never really closed above, so that's why it's still valid for my entry, because I wait for a candle closure above the 50% mark and then we can take it. Even though it has tested it and never closed above, so this would have never been invalid for us. And as you can see on the 1 minute, if you go, we're just waiting, and we kind of broke out to the upside right here. And I'm not gonna lie, it's 9:31. I would never take a trade this early on my fundeds. For that reason, I did not take the setup, but the entry showed up, which was a closure above, continuation, and we would target these highs. The only reason I didn't take these trades, and I'm glad that it's in my rules that you don't trade in the first couple minutes of the market. You gotta let the market settle down and pick a direction. I was seeing if you could break below this to solidify trend, obviously, and we did that. As soon as we saw a little shift in market, I was marking out these 1 minute gaps that we had out, this being one, and I was waiting for how we had a candle closure below, same thing. And we did this one. We did not get tested before, and this is where I wanted my entry, but as you can see, we just dumped, and we dumped a lot. Then there was this I actually set my limits on 451 to get filled, and the same thing happened. We're just dumping. I see that there is a 15-minute gap right up here that we can take our entry off of. All right, set my limits at 420.75 right here. If you ride it down towards these lows, that's what we need. All right, just got filled there. I've been seeing a lot of selling pressure, so I wouldn't mind going into a little drawdown, because there has to be pullbacks. But trading inside this 4 hours, so obviously would want us to hold it. We have London lows right up here. That's what we're targeting, and we will see if you get them or not. Probably about 10 points, 12 points right now. I'll go break even around here just to be safe. Even though if we're past this level, we should dump another 13 points, but we'll see. All right, break even, boys. We are break even on this trade. I guess break even. We'll stop right here. Still about 50 points. Just want to get these lows taken out, and that's actually where they are right now. Just like that, I got edged. I just got edged. Oh my god. Oh my, look at this. A point. We were a point away. Not even a point. Not even a full point away. Bang! Let's go. That's how we start the week off, boys. I usually look for gaps that are over 10 points, but whenever price is just, hunting, whenever we rejected off of this 15-minute, we rejected these highs, we're trading inside this 4 hour, and more than likely, whenever price is just ramping down, you can expect continuation. And that's exactly what I anticipated for this price. I waited for a candle closure, which we just got right here, and I have my limit set right here, and I was targeting these lows. I'm going for a 1-to-1, so if I'm going for 61 points, I'll have my stops at 61 points. And in this trade, honestly, I wouldn't be more surprised if we came down and got in drawdown for a little bit, because whenever there is a big sharp move, for example, whenever market is trending, it's gonna have these pullbacks, right? We haven't had these pullbacks in this whole time that we're just dumping. So that was the one hesitant, like that's the one thing that I was looking out for, that I was hesitant about. In this whole like 1 minute move that we had, we really haven't had some retracements. So I told myself, I'm like, okay, I'm taking this entry a little late. Honestly, I would want us to take these entry at 451, but instead we're taking about 30 points deep into where I would actually like, but we just never got the closure, and we never got the retest. We got the closure, never got the retest. We were about 4 points away from getting filled. So for that reason, I'm like, okay, we might go into some drawdown, but that is perfectly fine, because my risk is set, my TP is set. I know the worst case scenario for this trade, I'll be down $600, and with these accounts, I am okay with that. And yeah, we just we had a little bit of retest, and we just dumped. I had my break even set right here at this low, and we were almost looked like we were gonna reverse. We were chopping up, and then had my stops at break even past this, but we didn't hit our TP, and we were just bouncing around, and then finally we ended up taking out these lows, and we hit full TP. This is the damage right up here, as you guys can see, $617 per account. That comes out to be about 3,100 around there. These balance 51,919. We're about $8,000 away from like requesting $10,000 from the set of 5. And yeah, this journey has been amazing. Literally showcased everything. Now I want to go back and to last week and talk about the trade that we took on Friday that we got stopped out of. From this gap, all I want to see is a closure above, retest, and a continuation. So if you get that, I'll get my entry. Hopefully it's in after 15 minutes. Because I get close to the trade, so I would just like to move based on news. If you get the entry, I don't get the trade because news happening, so I'm trying to see. Then you're gonna call it news candle. Not even much, so I just like the there was like hopefully that it's gonna be 7 before, so that's that. Like I need to have around time my entry. I go. But I hope it doesn't much. You just the entry over there. I'm still 15 minutes. You can get the right entry. This is what I'm looking at. Stops at this low. If we do get this entry. This is also retracing. Alright, we just got in some longs, boys. We're in longs. TP's at 683.25. Stops at 571. My stops there. Alright, you got my stops, my TP, everything set up. Hopefully, I have my break even right here. Oh, there you go. Well, it looks like we're going straight to stop loss. Wow. Okay. Let's see if we hold out here, or we might just get stopped out. Wow. The second I get my entry, just going straight to stop loss. Okay, just got stopped out there. Wow, that was quick. I'm down 540 on the day already. And my just my mentality going into this week and how it changed as, like the old Zaeem, what he would have done compared to what I do now. As you can see right here, guys, this is what the market looked like whenever we were trading it Friday morning, right? Obviously, in hindsight, you can say, "Oh, why didn't you take shorts?" We were just dumping, dumping, dumping. But you gotta hear me out for a second. Took out these lows. We were so close to take out these London lows. What I wanted us to do was take out these lows and make a move towards these highs. Now, we had this 15-minute, and we also had these lows below us, right? We come down, we take out these lows, okay? So now, what am I looking at? I'm like, okay, yo, there's literally nothing to the downside that we can possibly take out. So I'm looking to take some longs, okay? Why? Because we can target these higher liquidity. We see a move to the upside. This is where I think I did make a mistake. Usually I don't take the first gap presented after a sweep because I want to use it as confirmation. And if I just had done that for Friday, we would be fine. We wouldn't have been in any trade. But, on the 5-minute, we get the entry right up here. We get the closure, and this is where we would get filled. But, we just never held up. I didn't see an ounce of profit in this trade. And for the rest of the day, we just kept on dumping. And, I would get back into the markets and try to take another trade as, we took this trade at 950. So, 20 minutes into the market and we took a loss. I told myself like, I give myself 2 trades a day. So I was looking to take another trade, but after this move happened, we were just chopping, like nothing that sparked my interest. And for that reason, I just didn't take another trade for that day. And I'm glad I didn't do it because I was long biased for the day. And if I had just, if I had continued on with my long bias, I would get burnt out in every single move because we did not pump at all. So, moral of the story, and this is a great example today. You might have a bad day, you might have a bad trade, but instead of jumping right back into the markets right away, it's good to take a step back and come back the next day, the next week, and make back the money. And that's exactly what we did. We erased that loss completely, and now we're back on track. We're 2 days away from these payouts, and we're gonna get that. Once I do get it, I'll be on Tradify TV. Request it. As always, if you guys want to get the best Lightning funded accounts, these accounts that I did not even have to get an eval done for, make sure you use code Zaeem right here. Right here. It gets you 30% off. I have 5 of those accounts. I literally took it from 0, and I'm about to take it to a payout on live stream. Every single trade showcase, every single execution showcase, everything. I did it for free, and I can't wait to take that payout, and I'll see you guys then, and you guys have a great day.